Manny Machado red hot for the Baltimore Orioles. He leads the American League currently with 15 extra base hits already. But the Indians' bats are starting to heat up as well. Frankie Lindor had 2 hits yesterday, an RBI and a run scored. And Michael Brantley riding a 7-game hitting streak in which he has piled up 14 hits. It's the Indians and the Orioles putting the wraps on a 4-game series tonight at Oriole Park in Camden Yards. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Jose Ramirez got off to a really slow start this year. He was 0 for his first 15, but in his last 10 games, he is ripping the cover off the ball.
It's hard to keep a good hitter down, and I'll tell you what, Jose is back. He is starting to swing the bat like we know he can, and good hitters, when they get 1 or 2 hits, they want to continue to add on. He's had a great series here in Baltimore, 3 home runs in the series, playing tremendous defense as well. But when you look at Jose over the last 10 games, he is starting to pick up the tempo a little bit. 6 homers, 8 ribbies, 4 multi-hit games like we know he could do. But you see the previous 9 games before this 10, 2 for 33. I think we're on the upward trend, and it's a good sign.
Well, the Indians are trending upwards as well. They've won 8 of their last 11. Meanwhile, Baltimore has lost 8 of their last 10. We'll be back with the play-by-play from Oriole Park at Camden Yards right after this. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers, made in Ohio, Ohio proud. And by Live TV you love, only better. Temperatures have been warming up. That's been good for everybody. 58 degrees in game 1, 63 in game 2, 61 degrees yesterday, and it should be in the mid 60s here this evening as we get underway. With more on the weather and how it may have affected the Indians' bats, we go down to our man Andre Knott.
Thank you, Matt. This is game number 20 for the Indians, and with weather being such a story throughout the season, not only for the Indians, but for all of Major League Baseball, I figured it was time to dig into the numbers a little bit to talk about the Tribe's offense. They've played 8 games when it's been 60 degrees or more, and they're 5-3. 4.6 runs scored and almost 44 points more, average at 242 with 16 home runs. Under 60 degrees, 11 games. You can see the numbers there. 6-5 is a record, only 2.8 runs. Under 200 with just 8 home runs. Guys, let's be happy that May is around the corner and the temperature should stay above 60 going forward.
They still did a heck of a job when they had, under 60 degrees because of the pitching. So
yeah, the pitching,
I'll tell you, they've really held them in, and they've done a wonderful job. And speaking of pitching, let's take a look at the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles, Kevin Gausman, who is 27 years old, 6'3", 200 pounds, coming off a very good start against Detroit. He had a no decision, but went 6 innings. First time this year he didn't walk anybody. He has the fastball splitter. He's got a changeup and also a slider, but the slider is just average.
The Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor leading it off. Jason Kipnis bats second. Jose Ramirez is third. Michael Brantley in the cleanup spot. Then Edwin Encarnacion, followed by Yonder Alonso. Yan Gomes, riding an 8-game hitting streak, will hit 7th. And Bradley Zimmer and Brandon Geyer gets the start in right field, batting 9th.
Let's check out the Orioles defense. In the outfield, Gentry, Jones, and Santander left to right. And on the infield, Valencia gets the start at third, Machado at short. Beckham is at second, Davis at first, and Cisco back behind the plate.
Kevin Gausman into the wind, and we're underway. Low and outside, ball 1.
And so far this year, Gausman has allowed runs in the first inning 3 of his 4 starts this year.
2-0. Our official game time temperature tonight, 65 degrees under mostly cloudy skies here in Baltimore. Gausman finds the strike zone, and it's 2-1. Rick, the one thing you want to look for here for the Indians is, can they get to Gausman early, because that has been his Achilles heel throughout his career.
Yeah, first inning has been his highest ERA of any inning he's thrown, and for the second straight start, Gausman's going with the hands over his head as far as the delivery goes, or the windup. 6 runs allowed in the first inning of his 4 starts this year.
The 3-1. Ball 4. So the Indians get their leadoff man aboard as Lindor draws a walk. Jerry Meals is the crew chief. He's calling the balls and strikes tonight. Gabe Morales at first, Ed Hickox at second, John Tumpain down at third.
And Gausman already did something he didn't do all last start, and that's walk a batter. He walks the first guy.
First time through the lineup this year. The opposition hitting .344 against him. And you don't know if that's just part of that first inning, trying to find your way and settle in, or if there's just something that he's not doing early in games.
Well, he had a team leading 34 starts last year for the Orioles. It was also a career high, so he was out there every day. You would think if there was anything, he would get over it by then with 34 starts on the year.
Jason Kipnis pops one up, foul ground. Valencia, the third baseman, to the railing, but no, he will not have a play. Jason Kipnis has hit in 8 straight games. He's collected 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, and he has scored 6 runs. Lindor draws a throw. Almost looked like he was anticipating that throw, because when he got to his final leadoff position, he then backed up about a quarter of a step toward the bag, almost like he was sensing the throw was coming over that way. Kipnis takes, it's in the dirt.
Osmond, that fastball and splitter, best 2 pitches. He also throws a changeup. And I told you his slider's not as good of a pitch for him. It's tough for him to get right-handers out because he doesn't have that hard biting slider.
So far this year, when he gets the count to 1-2, the opposition is just 1 for 14 against him.
Yeah, that's a key for him. When you know what, it's almost like that with every
most
pitcher.
pitchers, yeah.
If you get 0-2, 1-2, you can expand the zones, and you know you don't have to stay on the plate. You can get guys to chase it, but when he falls behind, it's a little different.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 1 down. Tonight's storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. The opposite field approach. Stay on the ball. Try to drive it the other way. It has worked well at times for the Indians in this series. Don't let that guy beat you. Manny Machado, he is the Orioles offense right now. Lindor has stolen 4 out of 6 bases on the year. But the way Jose Ramirez is swinging it, you're in scoring position at first base. Ramirez 5 for 11 in the series with 3 home runs. And on the road trip, 9 out of 22.
Well, you knew it was just a matter of time, and he had 3 hits a couple of games ago, and he could have had 4 because he hit it right on the nose the 4th time.
He takes, and it's low, ball 1. Ramirez, with those 7 home runs, he's tied for 3rd in the American League. Upstairs with it, 2-0. So you can see Gausman here in the first inning struggling with that command a little bit. Borderline pitch. Ramirez didn't love it, so you take it. It's 2-1.
That was a changeup coming 2-0 count now, like we've seen in the series from a lot of these Baltimore pitchers. When they fall behind in the count, they don't just automatically throw you a fastball. It's almost like now you pitch backwards. There's a heater. He gets in there in a pretty good spot. So from 2-0 to 2-2. And now you'll get Valencia that runs across the diamond and gets in that hole between first and second.
Yeah, so that's the 3rd baseman over there.
Right.
Interesting alignment. Now the 2-2, and Ramirez with a check swing foul. I thought for a second that might stay fair.
The way he's going, I'm surprised it didn't.
Different teams employ this shift differently.
Yes, they do.
Sometimes the 3rd baseman just goes over to where the 2nd baseman is, but the Orioles flip them all the way over.
Well, I know why Buck leaves Machado over on that side, because he told us where he can create with it different arm angles after playing 3rd and short. That's his side of the diamond. I wouldn't be surprised if they leave him there most of the time by himself. He's that good at short.
Lindor at first with 1 out here in the first inning. The 2-2. Bat shattered. Ball stays fair. Gausman's throw is just in the nick of time to get Ramirez. Lindor moves into scoring position.
Well, it ended up hitting the cupped end of that bat, and it splintered. A sliver came off of that bat. Gausman able to get to it barehanded and throw out Ramirez, and watch the split end flies off in front of their dugout. But watch, by the time he gets there, awfully close. The throw just does beat Ramirez. almost into the runner a little too much.
Yeah, that's where the first baseman can sometimes end up in a precarious situation. Well, here's Michael Brantley. He's the guy you want at the plate in this situation, hitting .462 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Michael's been hot. He's on a 7-game streak. 14 for 33.
He's somewhat unique in that for a guy who bats in the middle of the order, he will give in. He's not that middle of the order guy who's thinking about turning on a ball and driving it for power. He'll take what the pitcher gives him and he'll just flip it the other way and take his base hit.
That's, yes, he doesn't change. You know, he's not afraid to take a couple of pitches, or he may jump on the first pitch. But even when he gets to 2 strikes, he's never out of a count. But he stays on the baseball. He doesn't try to pull everything. He doesn't. I don't want to call it getting greedy, but I think a lot of hitters try and do too much when they get into a situation like that. Michael just sort of makes that pitcher come to him. He's got his work cut out for him now, though.
Breaks it off. Good fastball. Low and away. Not an easy pitch to get to, but he does foul it off.
Well, he gets a little more on this pitch. Is he? Boy, that was an excellent pitch. It might have been just off the edge. Well, Michael did a nice job to foul it off and live for another pitch.
Tapped foul right there at home plate. Brantley also unique in that he's one of the few hitters that teams do not shift for. Certainly the outfield will shade him one way or the other, but
yeah,
the infielders, they all stay close to their normal positions.
You shade Michael to left field, left center.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out with a good fastball. So Gosman works around the leadoff walk. And now the Orioles are coming to bat.
For the first, so it's Carlos Carrasco's turn. He's our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, and Carlos is off to a great start this year, 3-0 at .260 ERA. He made one start against these Orioles last year, came in this ballpark and tossed 6 innings, allowing 7 hits and not a run, striking out 10.
For Buck Showalter, it's Tim Beckham, Pedro Alvarez, and Manny Machado. Is that Adam Jones, Chris Davis, and Danny Valencia getting the start tonight, hitting 6th. Chance Sisco, Anthony Santander, and Craig Gentry, who led off yesterday, bats 9th here this evening. Beckham is 0 for 8 in the series. And just 4 hits in his last 29 at bats. And 3 of those 4 hits came in one game against Detroit. So he has had his struggles offensively here of late.
Nice to see you, brother.
Beckham takes a strike outside corner. And the 1-1. Swung on and missed.
Nice slider there by Carlos. Carlos in his last start threw 98 pitches, had 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, that coming to Puerto Rico. Man, right here, huh? Nothing better than the big man. Hello,
Luke Powell.
Yes, sir. Stopping by to say hello.
Here's the 1-2 to Beckham. Popped it up center field. Zimmer camps under it and makes the catch 1 away.
Let's set that Indians defense for you. Brought to you by Ram. In the outfield, Michael Brantley in left. Bradley Zimmer is in center, and Brandon Geyer over in right. On the infield, Jose Ramirez is at third. Lindor at short. Jason Kipnis at second. Yonder Alonso at first, and Yan Gomes doing the catching.
Pedro Alvarez steps in 0 for 11 in the series and just 1 hit in his last 17 at bats. Carrasco misses with a fastball just off the plate inside. 1-0.
Orioles missed Trey Mancini, who was in that leadoff spot for him for the last 14 games.
And he was swinging the bat really well.
He was. He injured himself out in left field trying to catch a ball in the first game of this series, and his knee went underneath the padding and had to miss a few games.
Alvarez really pulling off that fastball that was off the plate. And it's 1-2.
Well, let's look at the movement on this fastball. Carlos's changeup usually takes off like that.
Wow.
But that fastball really had some movement on it.
At 96 miles an hour.
Well, we'll see if he comes back with his change, that one he loves to strike people out with. Stay with the good moving fastball.
Swung on and missed. A good slider, straight down movement. And that's out number 2 as Carrasco gets his first strikeout. Was this a changeup?
It was the changeup. Look at it. It's going down like that. 90 miles an hour. A little harder than normal on our Nissan pit tracker. You can see how he splits his fingers out there and get the sink to it. But boy, when you're throwing 96, it's got that kind of movement, and then you throw it at 90 and it's going down. That's a little harder than normal.
Corey Kluber told Andre Knott earlier today if he could take one pitch from Carlos Carrasco, it would be that changeup.
Why wouldn't it be? Very good command, and he can throw it to hitters from both sides of the plate. But this is a guy that's locked in. Let's see. In this series, he's hit a 1-0 pitch out of the ballpark, a 2-0 pitch out of the ballpark, a 3-0 pitch out of the ballpark.
So there you go. Get a strike on him first.
You try.
He's second in the league in batting average, second in home runs, tied for 6th in runs batted in, 4th in doubles. High fly ball, center field. Zimmer galloping in, makes the catch, and the Birds go 1-2-3. We're scoreless after 1.
Carlos Carrasco with a good first inning. Retiring the side in order. We go to the second. Edwin Encarnacion, Yonder Alonso, Yan Gomes duo. Edwin Encarnacion, just 1 for 11 in the series. Trying to get himself on track offensively. Takes a strike. Well, this is a thrill. We got the legendary Boog Powell with us in the booth.
The
right
real
now.
Boog
Thank you,
Powell.
fellas. It's good to be
The
with
real
you.
Boog
Nice
Powell.
to see you, Booger.
Good
I
to-
mean,
good
it's
to-
been a while.
Good to see you, fellas. Good to be with you.
So how's things going for you right now?
Well, this is my busy time of the year, and I was just telling you guys a little while ago, there's probably more Indian fans in the ballpark tonight than there are Oriole fans. It's kind of sparse out there, and but we'll get better. You know, it's a pretty good team, really. It's not bad. We don't quite have the pitching you guys got there.
Oh, boy. We've
Your
got some good
pitching's
pitching.
incredible.
It really is very good.
Edwin with a base hit into center field.
So you're still following the game. You've got your barbecue rib place out there. Is that correct still?
Yeah, we don't do ribs. We do pit beef, pork tenderloin, and turkey.
Like you always did, man.
Yeah, well.
One of the few guys that when I played with him, there's this place out there back in Cleveland. I saw this guy turn meat over with his bare hands and never had to use the
No tongs.
no tongs.
Well, how about that trip up to the mountain in
Yeah, up at
Tucson?
Mount
yeah,
Lemon.
Yeah, man, Mount Lemon. Yeah.
We went up there in spring training one time and had a barbecue after we had an off day, and it was a thing of beauty to watch.
I've got some wonderful fond memories of Cleveland.
Yonder Alonso showing bunt with that shift on. He was thinking about just taking a hit. Most fans that I run into, when anyone brings up Boog Powell, the first thing they remember is the all red uniforms.
Yeah. Yeah, I must hear that when Cleveland's in town. I bet 20 people came up tonight. You know, but every time we wore those uniforms, I hated them. You know, because I looked like a
Deep center field. Back is Jones. Looking up. It is gone. Boog brings the home run power to the Indians here in inning number 2 as Yonder Alonso has his 5th of the year.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat very well. So Alonso stays hot and gives him the early lead.
Well, we were also talking before we came on the air. A ballpark like this for you, big slugger to play in, this would have been a lot of fun.
I hit a lot of balls to left field, and I think one year, the year that I hit 39 home runs in '64, we counted 19 balls that were between the 410, between the 390 and the 410.
Yeah,
It was 390 out there.
Right
In the old ballpark,
yes.
and the ball didn't carry it.
No, it did not.
So,
not in that ballpark.
So anyway, those balls would have been.
Yan Gomes sends one deep to left. Gentry back. He'll have room. 1 down.
Well, the one thing we did notice in this, you know, it's still a little chillier, so the ball's not carrying. In the summertime, this thing can really jump. Yeah, it'll jump on you.
Yeah, we get some people that come up into Boog's barbecue up there quite often. Well, not quite often. That orange 10 out there is mine. So, you know, we've had a couple going there. But nobody's hit the warehouse building. Can you believe that?
No. Well, they say Ken Griffey did in batting practice.
In batting practice,
yes.
It was a foul ball, though.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
See, you know that.
Yeah, I was here. I was here. I tell people all the time, I really, honestly, and truly believe that I could have hit that building.
I will not doubt that at all.
Yeah.
Zimmer sends one to center. Adam Jones covers a lot of territory. 2 down. Well, take a look at this, Boog. This is Jim Thomey's home run, 440 feet away on July of 1996. It's a pretty good poke.
He was special.
Yeah, yes, he was.
Man.
He played here for the 1 year, 2012,
Yep.
I believe it was.
Yep.
Yeah, Jimmy came in here.
Everybody used to hang around him and try to hit like him. Everything else, he had such a short little swing, but he generated so much power.
Yeah, he was a big guy though, and strong.
Oh yeah, he was way
Yeah.
strong.
What's the one thing that you think of when someone asks you about your days in Cleveland with the Indians?
Oh boy. Actually, how nice the people were to me. I think that when I got there, I think that they thought that I was some kind of a savior or something for Cleveland baseball, you know, and they would send me these giant bolognas and all this wonderful food to the ballpark. You know about that.
Sure.
Yeah, man, and and just go out anywhere, and you were their guest.
Well, the thing of it was, they saw you beat them for so many years from the left side when you were with Baltimore, and they saw him on TV and in the World Series. I mean, when you came over in '75, for me, I was just a rookie, and I was thrilled to death.
Oh, man.
But I mean, you guys raised me. You and Frank over
and
there.
Look at you now.
Pat Dobson.
And Dauber,
Yeah, the Dauber.
Snake.
Yes, the Snake Man.
Yeah,
and I just remember you doing the Miller Lite commercials and things like that. That was a lot of fun back in those days.
We did. We had a ball, and we could score some runs. I think we led the league in runs scored that year. You know, had you and Buddy Bell and
Rico Carty
and Rico and Dwayne Kuiper.
Yeah.
Duffy and Charlie Spikes.
Yes.
The Boogaloosa Wonder.
That's right. Oscar Gamble was there.
Oscar
George
was
Hendrick.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, George Hendrick. Oh, my. Boy, could he hit when he wanted to.
Geyer down on strikes. Booth, thanks for stopping by.
Okay, fellas.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Great as always.
Good to see you, Art.
All right, man.
Love you, man.
At Oriole Park, Camden Yards, Baltimore. 2-0 Indians as we go to the bottom of the second.
Wow, what a treat.
I mean,
what a treat.
Yeah. One of the truly amazing benefits of this job, if we can call it a job, is that you get to meet, for me, I get to meet the legends of the game that were playing when I was a kid, when I first fell in love with baseball. Yourself included, I've told you that before. But, you know, you get Jim Palmer here in Baltimore. We see Eck on the road.
Yeah.
But Boog Powell, he's like a mythical figure.
Well, because we used to watch him play back in the days. And that was great because we've talked to Jim Palmer, who does their games, and you know he called Boog today and said Manning's in town. He wants to say hello to you, and he shows up tonight.
But Adam Jones dumps one into center for a leadoff single here in inning number 2.
I asked him, "How do you think you'd do in this ballpark?" When we were talking, he said, "Well, you could probably add about 100 of them to my docket."
Yeah. What? I mean, as you said, you were just starting out. You were a rookie. What was it like sharing the clubhouse with guys?
Well, I was just sitting down there.
Soaking it all in?
Yeah, I was a sponge. I wouldn't say a word. You know, Frank was the manager, and Boog was in there, and Rico Carty, and Gaylord Perry, and other guys like that. And I kept my mouth shut. But Boog always he enjoyed the game, and he enjoyed life, period. And that's the way he went about it. He was a gentle giant. And back in that day, if we could have had him on any longer, I'd ask him. Nowadays, guys are big now. You know, he was a big man. He was around 300 pounds. When he worked out, you know, he'd come to spring training. We weren't in shape. He'd jump in a hot tub and grab a cigar and sit for about 2 hours to lose 15 pounds. That was a day of working out for Boog and then go out and eat.
Carrasco's 0-1. Davis lines it to left, and that's going to be a base hit.
That was a good swing.
Cut off by Brantley. Jones going to try for third. He'll get there safely. And the Orioles come right back. They've got him at the corners with nobody out.
That was a good swing by Davis. He's stayed on the baseball, driving it to left field. Little surprised he's not on second base with Brantley turning to throw to third base on this. It's a fastball in the inner part, but he's a good low ball hitter and drives this to left center field. Now, when Michael threw that ball to third base, I thought he would go to second. He did not. So it's a good thing the double play is still in order.
Davis got off to a really slow start. First 11 games, he was just 3 for 37. But since then, now 10 for his last 37.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he can, when he gets hot, you have to be careful.
Danny Valencia. You're getting the start tonight. Just one at bat so far in the series.
Yeah, Valencia is getting the start at third base tonight, and they push Beckham over to second. Give Sardinas the night off against a tough right-hander, but Valencia has seen Carrasco before. Good sliders.
0-2.
You know, and that's Carlos's pitch, man. When he needs outs and he needs strikeouts, he goes to that slider, especially to the right-handed hitter. And he's able to get ahead of him 0-2 with 2 really good sliders.
And he strikes him out with another one.
Boy, yeah, that's just three pitches, all sliders, and he gets 3 swings. I mean, let's look at the sequence. It's not much to it. It's all sliders. But when you're the hitter, that one goes straight down at 85. Same spot. And that one had more of the play, but he still comes up empty. So he gets the first out. Now the double play in order if he could get the ground ball.
Chance Sisco, the Orioles catcher. Ground ball, and it's in the hole. That'll get the Birds on the board as Jones scores. Davis stops at second. So Chance Sisco making his 11th start of the year, and in his first 10 starts, he's hit .290. And he's going to get more playing time.
Well, he did that the other day, if you remember, in the 8th inning to get them started, or it was maybe the 6th inning. We found the hole and went first to third. I think it was on Bauer in that ball game to get an inning rolling. So he searches for that hole with a man on first, and he was able to find it again.
Anthony Santander. 0 for 9 in the series. Right back to Carrasco. He's got the catch and throws to first for an inning-ending double play. And his heart perhaps skipped a beat as that ball was headed right back at him in a hurry. Look at this smash off the bat. Right back at Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah, when you're falling off the mound to one side, it was away from him enough where he didn't get jammed with it. He's able to make a nice catch and just flipped it over to first base for the double play and gets him out of the inning. Smile as he's walking off. I don't blame him.
Francisco Lindor walked his first time up, and here he is again now with a 2-0 count. Just did catch the bottom of the zone for strike one.
He's basically a fastball changeup guy through the first couple innings.
Popped it straight up into the twilight sky, and Machado grabs it for out number one.
Well, watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB TV. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply.
Jason Kipnis down on strikes his first time up. And he pops one back out of play. When Kevin Gausman came out of LSU, the Orioles made him the 4th overall pick 6 years ago. Swing and a miss, 1-2, and he had this ritual when he was at LSU that he would eat those little mini powdered sugar donuts. He'd eat one between every inning. Right back to him. 2 down, but when he signed with the Orioles, pretty sure it was the team nutritionist who said, yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
Probably not sugar high.
Yeah, you might not want to keep that, not really a superstition, but that routine.
Tradition.
You might want to kick that one to the curb.
Yeah, we'll get you on cotton candy in the ballpark.
But he did change his number this year. His childhood hero was Roy Halladay. And so he's donning number 34 in Doc Halladay's honor. That was obviously a great loss, and certainly people throughout baseball felt that. But imagine, you know, for a guy like Gausman, the guy you grew up idolizing.
Right. Patterned yourself after.
Yeah. Jose Ramirez awaits the 1-1. And he jolts one to deep right field. Santander's going to turn and play it off the wall. And Jose will glide into second base with, believe it or not, his first double of the year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. A guy that, what do you have, 56 of them last year? All of a sudden he gets his first double. He's been in the homer binge. But this one, he just didn't get it up high enough, and he hit a changeup. He stayed back, made a nice adjustment, and it goes off the auxiliary scoreboard. You could see that. That might have been a split. And that didn't miss by going out by that much, but a 2-out double. And as you mentioned, his first of the year. So many more to come, I'm sure.
Well, Michael Brantley had gone 42 straight plate appearances without a strikeout before he went down swinging to end the first inning. See if he picked up anything from that at first at bat that he can use here second time around, maybe get that run home from second base. In the air to left field, routine. Gentry will make the catch. No runs ahead, a man left. Middle of the third. Cleveland 2, Baltimore 1. For the Tribe Report presented by GMC, Alan Jensen will recap the week and get you up to date on the Tribe's minor league system. Bottom of the third, and it'll be Craig Gentry to lead it off, then Tim Beckham and Pedro Alvarez. And this one's punched right back up the middle. Fourth hit for the Birds. Top of the order, Tim Beckham.
I was going to say, you know, Carrasco normally doesn't give up many hits. His last two starts, giving up just 3 hits in each game. They had 4 the first time through the lineup.
So we've had 2 fly ball outs to center. Jones single to center. Gentry single to center. Santander smashed one right back to Carrasco.
Right up
Does
the
that
middle.
tell you anything?
Staying on the baseball, I don't know. We're going to find out, because usually if Carlos, his fastball gets hit early, he goes to that slider a lot. And, you know, mostly a right-handed hitting club.
Good fastball in there for a strike. 0-2. Nice job by Gomes to keep that one right in front of him.
Yeah, Gentry, one of the guys that with speed that can steal. As a team, the Orioles have 7 stolen bases on the year, and Gentry has 4 of them. But with Carrasco, there's only been 2 stolen base attempts, and they've caught 1 of them. So if you keep them close, but if you're going to try to steal, that would be the pitch you want to try it on, is with a breaking ball. But as we say, Gomes and they do such a nice job at blocking balls that are in the dirt that keep guys on the base that they are at.
I remember years ago, Brady Anderson, even Robbie Alomar when he was here, Brian Roberts. You know, those are guys that come to mind. Orioles that would steal bases, but because of this ballpark, they were a team historically that didn't run a lot because you don't want to make extra outs on the base.
It's like a Fenway Park, you know. You're built to your ballpark a lot of times. These guys live on power.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Gomes couldn't get a handle on it.
Well, he picked the right pitch. It was the slider, and Gomes double clutch, and it was a tough pitch to pick and throw anyway. I don't know if he would have had him. You know, watch how low this pitch is. And it's short hops. He backhands it, but in the transfer, he didn't really have a good grip on it, so just hold it. You know, you let that guy steal the base. It was just, you got your out, and it was a strikeout. His third of the night. Just a really tough pitch to get up and throw.
There's Pedro Alvarez. He struck out his first time up.
Lindor is sitting right behind him at second base, so he's got to keep an eye on him, and that's what you have to do, keep him close to second so he doesn't try to go to third, although there is a left-hander in the batter's box.
High pop-up on the infield as Kipnis tracks it. Now backs up a step or two, makes the catch 2 away. Well, now it's time for the Buick stat of the game. Major League home run leaders: Mike Trout with 9, then Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, Charlie Blackmon, and then Jose Ramirez.
Well, Carl Willis coming to the mound to talk to Carrasco. You have first base open, you have 2 outs, you've got Machado the hitter. He was able to get him the first time to pop up to center field, but the following guy, Jones, got the base hit to lead off the second inning, who came around to score. So they're talking about exactly what do you want to do in this situation. You know, you've got
well, the talk that Corey Kluber told me, and I'm not saying this is exactly what's going on, but they said in most situations they're going to go around Machado and go to Jones. No offense to Jones at all.
Right.
But with the way Machado is swinging the bat, and Jim Palmer and Corey Kluber had a conversation today, and it was just cool to listen to both of them talk about the situation, because I asked both of them, what are you doing when a guy's this high? And, you know, Jim Palmer said, well, sometimes when you got your good stuff and you know you can put it right where you want it, you go at him. But if you don't have your best stuff in that moment, why lose the game to that hitter?
Well, the decision has been made. They're going to intentionally walk him, and I have a tendency, I agree with him. You know what? He's as hot as you can get right now. He's been on a roll. Let's take our chances with Adam Jones, and we'll go after him.
And Andre, to take that a step further, Jim Palmer has told us in the past that he would rather walk a guy with the bases loaded if he didn't feel he could get him out than risk a grand slam.
He never
gave one up.
I know.
And Corey Kluber said yesterday the only reason he pitched to him the way that he did, there was no one on base. He said they gave up solo shots. He didn't like it, but he'd rather do that and pitch to him. If people were on base, he would not have gone at him that way.
I got you. It makes sense.
Adam Jones now.
There you go.
Tops one to short. Lindor goes to second for the inning-ending force. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We've played 3 in Baltimore. It's the Indians 2, the Orioles 1.
The Chicago Cubs they're in town waiting right now, as a matter of fact, on an off day, and you can grab a $15 district ticket presented by Sports Time, or a $10 KeyBank Kids ticket online, of course. Visit Indians.com for your tickets.
The Orioles shift 3 men on the left side of the infield for Edwin Encarnacion, who takes ball 1. Edwin lined a single to left center his first time up. Edwin came in just 6 for his last 60 at the plate. Goes the other way. Santander has it for out number 1. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
What is the one word that we hear constantly around baseball players is routine. And with Yonder Alonso, much like Mike Napoli, you guys remember a couple of years ago at Napoli, he'd come out almost half an hour, 40 minutes before the game. He'd come sit on the bench, hang out with Tito, and just look out in the field and visualize. Well, Yonder does the same thing. And I asked him a couple days ago why, and he said, "You ever been to Oakland?" He said when he was with the Oakland A's, there was no room to work out or get loose. So he said he had to come out and do it. He said because he had a good year, it started slowing him down. He realized that was how he best got ready. So now that's just part of his routine, because in San Diego, he said there's all kinds of room inside to work out, and he wouldn't be ready for the game. Now he says it gets him in the right mindset when the game starts at 7 o'clock.
Thanks, Andre. Alonso cuts and misses, and it's 0-2. Last time up, Alonso blast off the straightaway center field.
Well, he just stayed on that ball beautifully. Going off the bat at 421 feet, straightaway central. You got to get into it. He hit it straight away, and he certainly did.
Back to even now at 2-2. Jones drifting back, makes the catch, 2 down. Our great clip of the game from yesterday, Yan Gomes singled up the middle in the 3rd inning. Then in the 6th, another base hit to straightaway center field. And then an RBI double off the wall and right in the 9th. During his 8-game hitting streak, 10 for 29.
Well, Jan's been staying on the baseball, using the whole field. I love that last hit he had in the 9th, doubling off the wall and right and driving in a run from first base with 2 outs.
Almost nicked him, but he got out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. The Indians winners in 8 of their last 11 games. A 1.5-game lead over Minnesota in the AL Central after the Twins were just swept by the Rays. Tampa is actually here in Baltimore tonight, and they will open a series tomorrow against the Orioles. Minnesota is in the Big Apple, where the Yankees have jumped to an early 4-0 lead over Minnesota in the 2nd inning. Gausman's 3-1 to Gomes.
What a good pitch. He was crowding him, not trying to give him too much swinging room there, but made a beautiful 3-1 pitch at the outside corner.
Now the payoff. Slow chopper to third. And Valencia throws him out. Indians go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. Middle of the fourth, 2-1 Cleveland. Here in the home half of the fourth, Chris Davis, Danny Valencia, Chance Sisco for Baltimore. Thought it was interesting when we were visiting with Boog Powell earlier. He noted how many Indians fans he was seeing around the ballpark.
Yeah. Walked over yesterday and I saw a ton of them.
Oh,
you know, just hanging around and walking around the ballpark.
Yonder Alonso with the flip to Carrasco, 1 down. Our Levin Furniture player profile, Carlos Carrasco. He loves the road blues or road grays. It doesn't matter if he's pitching on the road, he's usually doing well.
Yes, he is. Yeah, for whatever reason, he's had a great career, 36-21 on the road. This year he's 1-0, but he's pitched well on the road. 7 innings, no runs in Puerto Rico in his last start.
Danny Valencia looks at a first pitch strike.
He went right to work on Valencia after they had first and third and nobody out back in the second inning. 3 pitches and got the strikeout.
Well, this time he started him off with a slow breaking ball, then a dart ball.
Yeah, and then he's seen 5 pitches, all 5 strikes. That's the first one he's taken.
Valencia 1 hit in his last 13 at bats. The 0-2. And he rings him up with a breaking ball. Might have backed up on him a little bit, but it's good for strikeout number 4.
Well, you check him out and you just check the sequence here from Carrasco, and he doesn't mess around. There's a breaking ball, a fastball, and then another backup slider that ended up locking him up because it started off and it backed up on. So 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts against Valencia.
Yeah, Valencia saying, thanks for putting me in the starting lineup tonight. As Cookie Carrasco moves past Addy Joss, 12th on the Indians' all-time strikeout list. It's pretty cool, though, when you think about a guy who has been dead for more than 100 years.
Yeah, 110
is still,
yeah,
you know, a name that
pops
resonates
up
in the record books. Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cisco, and Carrasco ate him alive. This slider has been devastating here tonight. 5 strikeouts for Carrasco. 2-1 Cleveland after 4.
Is brought to you by the 2018 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. And by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's.
We go to the 5th inning. The Indians lead the Orioles 2-1. Bradley Zimmer, Brandon Guyer, Francisco Lindor due up for the Tribe. Zimmer fly to center. His only time up in the 2nd inning. Sends a high fly ball center field. Adam Jones makes the catch for out number 1. Well, it's a sad day, and there's no easy way to do this, but sad day for baseball and a sad day for the Indians family and for you and I personally.
Yes.
The passing of Davey Nelson at the age of 73. Davey had been battling cancer, and just sad news. He was such a warm, big-hearted individual. I told Mike Segui today, if you went to the North Pole, you would find somebody who Davey Nelson knew.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He knew somebody in every town we ever visited.
And he was loved by all.
Yeah.
If you met Dave Nelson, you loved him. I mean, he was a super nice guy and a genuine person.
Rick Schlesinger of the Milwaukee Brewers, he's their chief operating officer. I thought he really hit it right on the head. He said, quote, today, Davey took every opportunity to turn a casual introduction into a lifelong relationship. And I think that
sums it up.
That nails it right there. Flared to short. Kenny Lofton tweeted out today that he was like a father to me, of Davey Nelson. And certainly you can understand Kenny was a young player when he came to the Indians, and Davey Nelson was there tutoring him. And
Well, yeah, he was. Davey was the first base coach in the glory days of the Indians on Mike Hargrove's staff, and you know he was with the Washington Senators and moved to Texas when they moved there. And Ted Williams was the manager that year back in '72. Yeah, it is a sad day.
I remember Davey telling me the story when he played for Ted Williams. Ted Williams said to him one day, "Can't you see the curveball coming out of the pitcher's hand?" And Davey said, "No, no, I can't."
Yeah.
The 0-1 offering. Flared to left. Lindor says, "I'll take it." That'll be his 4th hit in the series, and it keeps the inning alive with 2 down for Jason Kipnis. And of course, you worked with Davey for many years at the Indians fantasy camp, and think about all those fantasy campers that he impacted.
Oh, there's no question. For years he was down there with us, and I mean we put on cruises for the Indians cruises, and he was a part of that. And the people that were Indians fans and faithful, they knew Davey very well. And it's not like you said, no matter where you went, I don't know if you could go anywhere without meeting somebody that knew Davey.
I just know that wherever we went, if you needed a restaurant, all you had to do was call Davey. He had a guy. Go see this guy. He had somebody everywhere.
Yeah, golf. Yeah, he was working with the Brewers doing their pregame, and he did their alumni magazine that they put out. And so he spent his last, let's say, what, 8 or 9 years in Milwaukee.
Maybe more than that.
Yeah.
Popped him up left field. Gentry over near the line. Makes the catch. Our thoughts, prayers, condolences to everyone who knew and loved Davey Nelson. Yeah, when that sun went down, it got a little chilly.
Yes,
I noticed you put the extra layer on.
Yeah, always bring it. You never know.
Anthony Santander leads off for Baltimore here, bottom of the 5th. Breaking ball down and in. Santander was the guy at the plate in the 2nd inning. Baltimore had 2 on with 1 out. He smoked the ball right back up the middle. Carrasco caught it and then turned it into a double play to end the inning. Trying to beat that shift with a bunt, but it goes foul.
He did that one other time in this series. Ramirez was ready for him, though.
Yes, he was, and he made a great play. Now with 2 strikes, Jose backs up. Tops one by Carrasco. Lindor has to hurry. He gets him one away. Here's our Hear Right sounds of the game with Corey Kluber on the benefits of watching each other's bullpen performances.
You might feel something during your bullpen, but another guy might see something differently. It's just another way to a resource if guys feel like they need to talk about something, or if you see something that maybe looks a little bit different. And it's not to take anything away from the pitching coach. Just like I said, it's another set of eyes or a couple sets of eyes down there just watching. And I think another thing also, it holds you accountable. There's going to be days where you might be struggling through that bullpen, things like that, but there's other guys down there holding you accountable. You don't want to waste their time just sitting down there watching you mess around. So I think it's on a couple different aspects.
I love it. I love it because it keeps them engaged. This group has been around for a while, so when you go out there on your day to go throw, you've got other guys watching. So maybe you just you focus a little bit more, or something goes into it. But these guys can watch you, and maybe they could pick something up to help their game as well.
Sure.
Watching you,
Andre, it's like working out. If you go by yourself, you're not going to push yourself as much as when you got your buddies there staring at you.
When you watch it every day and you watch the 5 guys walk in from the bullpen, walk in from center field, wherever we are, they always have conversations. Today it was Kluber and Clevenger walking back together, talking about what the last 3 pitches he threw, how he felt. And it's accountability. You heard him say it. They are accountable to each other, and they push each other. Even talking to Kluber today about Josh Tomlin, he says, man, I wish I could compete like he does on his 5th day.
I think he does a pretty good job.
Lindor unloads, and it's a bang-bang play. They call him safe. Alonso points toward the Indians dugout as if to say, let's take another look at that one, boys.
Well, Gentry, we know he can run. He got down the line very well, but it looked like they may have had him, but the umpire called him safe. We'll see. Lindor didn't mess around with it. I mean, Gentry's flying.
He's out.
Well,
Indians will challenge.
They will challenge. Let's see. Okay, he very well could be, but I'll tell you, he hustled down the line. He got down there. Let's see. Here's the look. Let's see. This is the angle. All right, he's out. I agree with you. That foot, but I'm telling you, maybe by an inch. Maybe by an inch. And Lindor did not mess around. Well, they're smiling in the dugout, so something must be funny or was said.
Well, the first baseman, he knows when the ball's. Yeah, exactly.
He knows when it goes in his glove, and he feels him hitting the bag. The umpire listens for the sound and keeps his eye on the foot as it hits the bag. So I'll tell you what, it was awfully close any way you look at it. But it's a quick one, so he is out. So I give Gentry credit. He got down the line. He made it close. He made them review it. It's overturned, so they get the second out.
And well done by the replay command center because it was pretty quick. Two down for Tim Beckham. Fly ball, left field, Brantley drifting back onto the track. The Orioles go 1-2-3, and Carrasco has set down 7 straight.
games and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards code is MOUND. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
Well, the center of the diamond has been dominated by Indians pitchers really for the most part in this series, and Carlos Carrasco is starting to settle in. Kevin Gausman, on the other hand, not been too shabby himself. He gave up a 2-run homer to Yonder Alonso in the second. Only 2 hits allowed since then, and both coming with 2 outs. So he's been able to keep the Indians at bay. Jose Ramirez doubled with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, but they couldn't get him home. Just off the plate, not by much.
Good pitch, though, following up that splitter he just threw to Ramirez. Ramirez hit the double off the wall, and it was a split. You can see that's his, he can really be tough on left-handers with those 2 pitches.
You know, one of the things that I thought was interesting this weekend, and I'm hearing more and more of it, but when we were talking to Buck Showalter the other day, and then I've heard more and more people bring it up in conversations. Baseball, you know, going back to Earl Weaver, talk about platoons, lefties versus righties, the specialization of the game when it comes to, well, we need a left-hander to face left-handers. But now we're hearing about reverse splits. Guys, because of maybe they're seeing more pitchers from the other side, hitters from the other side.
Some righties can't hit the lefties. They're hitting righties better than they're hitting lefties. And yes, change-ups and things have come into play a lot, where right-handers are better against some left-handers than they are right-handers. This guy's won because he doesn't have that slider to put right-handers away. And you're right, you are seeing more of that. The reverse splits.
Chopped in the hole. Flagged down by Beckham, and he makes a nice spinning throw to get Ramirez for out number 1. And Michael Brantley 0 for 2 on the night steps in. The 1-0. Bullseye at 94.
We told you about Gausman going to that full windup, and he's bringing his hands up over his head. This is just the 2nd start he's done that. He started in his last outing against the Tigers doing that, and nobody knew he was going to do it. He just I guess went out and warmed up and came into the ball game and was doing that. Well, he followed it up again tonight. Seems to be working very well.
Popped foul. Let's see. Davis can't get to it. I think it's interesting because usually pitchers, they'll go to the bullpen and work on something before they bring it into a game. And he just said, I think I'm going to go with the over-the-head windup.
Made the change on his own. You know, because, I mean, we were talking to Jim Palmer today. I said, you watch Carrasco. He comes from the set, you know, as a starting pitcher. Nobody used to do that before. That was a rarity. There's a lot of people doing that now.
To first. Oh, what a diving stop by Davis. He just robbed Brantley of extra bags.
The ball took a hop up for him, and it looked like he was able to get to it with the glove. If it stayed down, it might have got by him. But watch, 1-2, a skip, and a nice play. Osmond over there in plenty of time. If that ball's down, I think he might have had a chance. But took that hop up, and Davis, a very good play. Out number 2.
And up comes Edwin Encarnacion, 1 for 2. He singled ahead of the Yonder Alonso homer in the 2nd inning. Reaching back for a little something extra. That was up to 97. He chops it to short. Machado throws him out. The Indians go 1-2-3. Middle of the 6th. It's still 2-1 Cleveland. Brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Indians struck in the 2nd inning. A 2-run home run by Yonder Alonso, his 5th of the year. But the Orioles came right back, bottom of the 2nd. Chance Sisco, it was the 3rd hit of the inning. All 3 singles that plated the Orioles' only run. Carlos Carrasco goes to work now, having set down 7 in a row. Pedro Alvarez to lead it off for the Orioles. Alvarez is now 0 for 14 in the series. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
Now, as I say this, remember the sample size is small, but today we talked to Terry Francona a little bit about how the starting pitcher's numbers for strikeouts are down overall. Now, it's only 20 games in, but he says he likes it so far because the guys are getting deeper in the game. And when he said that, Matty, I remembered you bringing up losing Brian Shaw, but maybe the starter's going deeper in the game to help the bullpen. So far, it's helping because the strikeouts are down, but the guys are getting deeper into games thus far.
Guys are doing a great job of making 3 pitches or less and getting outs, and that certainly helps.
You know, I was thinking about that too because I was reading the stat earlier. I don't remember exactly what it was. It had to do with strikeouts. You know, to start your career, you know, at a certain age, a certain number of games pitched. And you're seeing guys do things that, say, Jim Palmer didn't do. But then I got to thinking, when Jim Palmer started in his career, the starting pitcher's objective was pitch 9 innings. Yeah. So they weren't thinking about striking guys out. They were thinking about bottom third of the order. How can I get, 3 outs on 8 pitches?
Right. Well, that, and they were starting once every 4 days. They were making 38, 39 starts compared to 33. Or maybe more than that, 40 starts. They would log 300 innings, not 200 innings.
Watch this one. You talk about unhittable.
Well, that's where you can get him to chase it. It's tough picking up the spin right there off that slider by Carrasco. But he gets ahead of him. Now can he put him away?
He threw the bat at it and just got a piece of it. 54 pitches for Cookie so far tonight.
Well, he's unbelievable. He's a strike throwing machine. It's almost like every time he goes out there, he throws about 70% strikes. He, Kluber, I mean, these guys are following suit. We were on our last homestand, and 3 guys, Bauer, Carrasco, Kluber, in their 100 pitches in their games, 70% strikes. Yeah. They had 70 strikes out of their first 100 pitches. Move the feet like that. Where he was able to hit that last slider or foul it off to stay alive. That's where you move his feet, get him out of the batter's box. He's going to reprogram, and I bet he's going to go right back out and look away for that slider again.
And the 2-2.
Good take. Low. Well, he's seen it. He must have been looking for it because he just spit on it. He didn't even flinch this time. Yeah, he saw that one all the way. So it gets to a full count.
That fastball had a lot of movement to it, but Machado takes it for ball 4. April in the OHIO continues tomorrow night at Progressive Field. Cubs are in town. Interleague action. Indians Live begins our coverage at 5:30. First pitch at 6 on Sports Time Ohio, streaming on Fox Sports Go. April in the OHIO, presented by Menards. And now Adam Jones. He singled and scored the Orioles' only run in the 2nd inning. Bounced into an inning-ending fielder's choice with 2 on in the 3rd. Fastball misses away, and Yan Gomes feels like it's time to go have a quick chat.
Well, he had a really good sequence to Machado. Give him credit. He ended up getting the walk there, and then missed with the breaking ball and the fastball to Jones. So now he's sitting in the driver's seat with a 2-0 count. But Carrasco would like to get that little ground ball, get him to roll over on one to 6-4-3.
Swung out and missed, blew it by him with a fastball.
No messing around there.
Now, I wonder in that particular instance, maybe Andre can check with Jan after the game, if that's a case where he just went out to give him a breather, collect his thoughts, or if he saw something because the previous 2 pitches were both yanked, opposite arm side toward the left-hand batter's box. And maybe he just saw something from an adjustment standpoint. To center, Zimmer flying in. He lays out, makes the catch. He'll have an easy throw back to first, and it's going to be an inning-ending double play. Machado took off. He didn't think Zimmer could get there. But he made the catch and then had the easy throw back to first to end the inning. Ball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Another one of the Orioles legends, Jim Palmer.
He still looks like that.
I asked Jim about Kevin Gausman's old routine of eating powdered sugar donuts during the game. And he said, you know, I used to eat pancakes. Not anymore. Swing and a miss.
I'll tell you one thing. Kevin Gausman's thrown the ball very well tonight. He made one mistake to Alonso. Threw a fastball away. Actually, you give Alonso credit. He hit the ball to straightaway center field and out of the ballpark for the only runs the Indians have on the board. But he's thrown the ball very well, mixed in his fastball, his splitter. And he's not messing around, boy.
That's his fourth strikeout, but his first since the second inning. Now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And the Indians got a little help last night from the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Cash's squad walked off the Twins an extra. Was that extra innings or was it bottom of the ninth? Bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
And Gomez had quite a trot around the bases.
No doubt.
Hey, Arch, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Back in your day,
here we go.
Yeah, it's the last day of a road trip. He's
Yeah.
trying to get me going.
He's stirring it up.
I mean,
Go
look
ahead.
at what he did. I'm all for celebrating, but the guy was doing the Ray Lewis dance.
Well,
could you let?
No. Well, if it's bothering you, then you know how I feel about it.
Good answer.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
If it bothers you, it drives me crazy.
I'm all for celebrating, but that was just a look, Matt. I mean,
That one went a little too far.
Well, it just comes to a point where you say, you know, act like you've done it before, you've been there. I can see being excited and enjoying it and jumping around and doing things like that, but that was a little over the top.
Gomes waves at it. Back-to-back Ks for Gausman. 2 down here in the inning.
Andre, why are you doing that to me? We're going home tonight.
I know what you said about me when you had to say that key word. The word travels
I
fast,
was thinking about you, brother.
I know. It's actually a good line, so it's all right.
It's your boy's line. That's right, Deke.
Deke has me.
I just love that.
2 down for Bradley Zimmer. And Zimmer has flied to center field twice tonight. You know, we've always heard we shouldn't bring up inside jokes, so we should probably let the folks at home know what we're talking about.
You should.
No, it's not the right time. Not the right time.
He's saving it, Matty, to get me.
It's not the right time. I'm not going to give it away. This is like a slam dunk if I let it go now.
Wow, Gosman strikes out the side here in the 7th inning. It's still 2-1 Cleveland. Stretch time in Baltimore. Zimmer.
Well, it looked like Machado was off and running on that play, and he just gave himself in. He said, if he catches it, I'm out, but I'm going to get to third base no matter what. And what happened, Zimmer comes in and makes a sliding catch, and he sold out, and he knew it. I'm not going to hustle. He knew he was gone. And you know what? I don't blame him because he was off and running. But in that situation, it's hard. I mean, you're down a run. I mean, I see what happened and I understand.
Sure. I thought it was interesting. Catch probability was 51%.
For him, I think it would be more.
And that was my point. I think the catch probability percentage is based on the average guy playing center field.
Well, he's not average. Exactly.
He covers so
average.
much ground with each stride.
You know, that's why, you know, the catch probability, I don't get into that because if it, you know, you're a good outfielder, you can catch a lot more than you would ever think.
Murph says, to clarify, the catch probability statistic comes from
straight up
every ball that's hit to that area for the last 2 years.
Right.
So that's taken into account everyone. Now, for the most part, if you're in center field, there's a pretty good chance you're the fastest guy on your team or close to it.
Yeah. Well, and it all depends on where you're playing the hitter. And although Adam Jones was hitting, you would expect him maybe to pull the ball a little bit. I don't know. Carrasco's pitching, so it may be different. But he flared that one to right center field. But it looked like it was easy for Zimmer to catch up to.
Swung on and missed. Well, it's Carrasco with his 6th strikeout of the night. Both of these starting pitchers appear to be getting stronger.
Yes, they are. And I'll tell you what, this is a really good matchup, these two guys. And he just elevated it here. Davis, a good low ball hitter. He drove the ball to left center in his first hit. That was down. So with 2 strikes, you elevate it. That barrelhead can't catch up to it. Carrasco gets his 6th strikeout.
Zimmer going back. It's over his head. It one hops the wall. Valencia sliding into second base with a 1-out double.
Well, he saw another strike on the first pitch, but he got after it and hit it. That's the first one he's been able to put in play. And he smoked that ball over the head of Zimmer in center field. That was just a vicious line drive. And look at, there was a slider that stayed middle of the plate. And Valencia said, I saw enough of those. I'm just going to stay back. And he really did put a good swing. And not much you could do about that. That'll be a one-out double for Valencia, his second of the year. And there's the tying run in scoring position.
And Chance Sisco already has a hit. With a runner in scoring position, it drove in the Orioles' only run back in the second inning. Tied him up. Good fastball.
Valencia, look at that. He got that 107 off the bat. And you're not going to catch up to that one. That short hopped the wall, and that was just a line drive. Well, I think it's safe to say he was looking for that slider. Change up down and away, so he tied him up with a good fastball first pitch, change up second pitch, and he has him down on the count now 0-2. Yeah, both these starters, I agree with you, they seem to be getting better as this game is going on. Both have a really good feel.
Up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, this is nothing new for the Indians, that's for sure. This is their 20th game of the year. And in the first 19 games, 8 times they've played a 1-run game.
It was a 1-run game yesterday until the 9th inning.
True, very true.
Think about it. I mean, you know, they've played a lot of low-scoring games because offensively they haven't been swinging the bat, but the pitching has held up and it's held its course. As Andre gave us the numbers, you know, they're over 500 both, above 60 and below 60, but it's all because of the pitching.
He held up, they say.
Boy, they didn't think so in that dugout, did they? They thought he went around. Take a look at it from the side and see what you think. Oh, he caught a break. He's going to get an extra swing in this at-bat. Lindor telling all the infielders, knock it down.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 down in the inning. That time he went around.
He's looking for another chance. He was looking down at the third base umpire. You may get 1, but you're not going to get 2.
Chance, you've had your last chance.
He did. And this one, he goes right back to the changeup. And if he would have hit it, it might have been a double. But it goes as a strikeout. Out number 2, 7 strikeouts for Carrasco.
And with 2 down, Anthony Santander to the plate.
Bottom of the 7th inning here, Carrasco has just 73 pitches thrown.
Good fastball to put him in the hole 0-2.
Yeah, this is one reason they talked about it. Although Carrasco has 7 strikeouts, look at the pitch count. Nothing over 13 pitches.
That 4th inning, by the way, 9 pitches. He had 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And still only needed 9 pitches to get through the inning. Just a bit outside. And Santander able to hold up.
Yeah, the strikeouts come and we talk about it. When you get ahead of the hitters and you can expand their zone, you get the swings and misses a lot of times on very good pitches. But you work hard to get ahead of the hitters and you can expand their zone. When you're falling behind hitters a lot of times, you got a good chance to go deep into the count and throw 5, 6, 7 pitches per hitter.
That is hit in the air, deep right. Geyer back, has room, makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We're through 7. Carrasco has struck out 7, and the Indians lead it 2-1. Brandon Geyer swings at the first pitch, blasts it to third, but Valencia in on the grass, able to field it cleanly, 1 down. In the 7th inning, Kevin Gausman was simply immaculate. 9 pitches and struck out the side. B.J. Ryan was the last Oriole to do it in 1999, and it was against the Indians, and he struck out 3.
How about Ramirez, Tommy, and
big boy hitters?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, something that's it's a rarity. You don't see it often.
Top of the order, Francisco Lindor. He walked in the first, singled his last time up.
Well, this has certainly been Gausman's best start of the year. I mean, his 3rd start, he went 6 innings against Toronto, gave up 3 runs. Went 6 in his last start against Detroit, gave up 2 runs. But today, he is into the 8th inning now. He's allowed that 2 runs, 1 swing of the bat, but he has settled in, and he's been very good tonight.
Ground ball right at the second baseman. Beckham had trouble with it, but he didn't panic. And there are 2 down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. As you take a look at the ailing players around the majors, Cargo has a hamstring injury for the Rockies. Ben Zobrist dealing with a back issue. Indians will travel home to play the Chicago Cubs, a 2-game interleague series beginning tomorrow night at Progressive Field. Jason Kipnis 0 for 3 tonight. Way out in front of it. And it's 1-1. And the 2-2. Gosman has struck out 7, and he has retired 10 in a row. On Cleveland. Craig Gentry, the number 9 hitter, going to lead it off. And it's outside, ball 1.
In his last at bat, he grounded to short, and I mean just barely was thrown out. He was called safe originally, but they took a look at it and it was overturned. But he hustled his way to first to make it that close.
Andrew Miller getting loose.
Good pitch. Yeah, it's almost like this is a rarity when you see the two starters go this deep into the game for both teams.
Broke his bat. And Carrasco with a flip to first, 1 down.
Carlos has been dealing again. He's off to a very good start this year. Great fastball. You can see him locate that. His slider always seems to be good. And that changeup is not too shabby either. So he's just been dealing, swings and misses. 7 strikeouts. He has walked 2, but one was an intentional and Machado was both the walks. Giving up just 5 hits.
Tim Beckham 0 for 3 tonight. And he punches one into center field. For the first time ever, the NFL Draft is live on Fox. Join Troy Aikman and Joel Klatt in Dallas for all the big picks. Thursday and Friday, live on Fox and NFL Network. And we have the Cleveland Clinic called to the bullpen. Terry Francona has summoned Andrew Miller after Carlos Carrasco goes 7 1/3 innings here tonight. It's Miller time in Baltimore when we come back. After he went 7 1/3. He allowed 6 hits tonight. He's responsible for the man at first base, Tim Beckham. Andrew Miller coming on for the Indians. Interesting that once Tito made the move and Miller came in to begin warming up, Buck Showalter and the Orioles trainer went to first base to check on Beckham. Whatever it was, he stays in the game. But now Buck goes to his ace in the hole, Trey Mancini, who's been sidelined with a knee injury since the first game of the series. Not ready to play the field, but he is able to bat. And he's riding an 8-game hitting streak. Andrew Miller with a first pitch slider for strike 1.
You see him shake his head and say, I didn't think so. He thought it wrapped around the plate. But he got the call. That looked like that might have been a little wide.
Swung on and missed, just blew it by him there at 94. Orioles third base coach Bobby Dickerson. Tying run at first base. 0-2 pitch. Down and in. What a pick by Gomes.
It's amazing that he didn't get handcuffed there because, you know, Miller doesn't really have a leg kick. He just comes right at you. He's 6'6", 6'7", and this ball, I mean, almost got by him. Look at the glove has got to turn. He did a heck of a job just to save that ball. That thing took off on him.
Caught it just in the webbing.
I'm telling
barely. Down and in. He's able to hold up 2-2. Swung got a miss. He couldn't hold up this time. Ball gets away, but Beckham never located it, and he's stuck at first base.
Well, he went back down and in, and he got Mancini to swing at a pitch way out of the strike zone. He got himself out, and he's a little upset. But I'll tell you what, Beckham at first did not pick up where that ball was. And by the time he could have gotten to second base if you anticipated. Look at, he hesitated, and about the third time, he figured, I can't go now. It's too late. He should have took off. Man, that's where a base runner has really got to concentrate on picking that breaking ball up with 2 strikes and with Miller on the mound. You've got to be aware. And look, well, it's a break for the Indians that he's at first. But if he did get to second base, they would have walked this guy.
Machado with a ground ball single in the left field. He is sunk kind of high.
Yeah, he's a great hitter. And I'll tell you what, he's seeing the ball so well. And he says, if I get my cookie every day, I've got to take advantage of it. And he certainly has in this series. You know, there's that ball. It's a good pitch to hit. He just gets enough of it, finds a hole. So now they have the tying and go-ahead run on the bases. Adam Jones is going to come up and face Andrew Miller. 11-game hitting streak for Machado. And a pinch runner.
Interesting. They were looking at him earlier.
Well, he figured now if this is the case, he's going to go in for defense anyway at second base. Put him in there to pinch run. That's the tying run. Let's see, as he's going into second base. Well, he wasn't going to go anywhere else, but couldn't see much, but he's out.
You wonder if maybe that's why he didn't break on that ball in the dirt.
Could be.
Adam Jones checks. It's called a strike. And he's not happy.
Well, let's check it out. That's that breaking ball. That's in off the plate. Jones knows it, but it's called a strike.
You got to deal it to him. Deal it to him, Andrew. Deal it to him.
Back out of play. Out of play, right side.
Yeah, you got to go up there as a hitter now with Miller ahead of you 0-2. He's got a number of ways to try to put you away, but you've got to protect and try and do anything you can to put this ball in play if possible. You saw the career numbers from Jones against Miller.
Ground ball to third. Ramirez with a nice pick, and he goes to second for the inning-ending force. 8 complete. Cleveland 2, Baltimore 1. Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. We go to the 9th inning in Baltimore. And the Orioles go to their bullpen. Richard Blyer on in relief of Kevin Gausman, who went 8 outstanding innings tonight. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. Walked 1, struck out 7. Luis Sardinas stays in the game for Beckham at second base. Jose Ramirez, Michael Brantley, Edwin Encarnacion for the Indians here in the 9th. And Ramirez jumps on a pitch, drives it to fairly deep left, but Gentry, shy of the track, makes the catch. Looking back at our storylines brought to you by your Ford dealers. Opposite field approach. Indians just have 4 hits tonight, and it was a Yonder Alonso home run to dead center field. Manny Machado, meanwhile, got a base hit, but they walked him twice.
Well, the Indians, if you remember, in their first 11 games of the year, they had 4 hits in games, and they won 4 times, which was a rarity. Tonight, they're trying to do the same thing. They would like to add on, but going against Blyer, he's been really a special find, and he's a pitch to contact guy, and has done a wonderful job for Buck Showalter and the Orioles.
Spent over 9 years in the minor leagues before he finally got an opportunity to pitch in the big leagues. And in 90 games, he's posted a 1.78 earned run average.
Yeah, and he's not going to blow you away. 86, and he threw it by Brantley right there.
Off the plate.
That's what he makes you do. Put it in plate and get ground balls.
Just interesting. I mean, at age 31, he's a guy that, as well as he has pitched, what the Orioles love about him is that he doesn't take anything for granted.
Right.
Buck told us a story in spring training. They have a big dry erase board where they have all the players on it, and he said, we have a list of these are guys that are going to be on the team. And he said when Blyer saw his name on that list, he was like, really?
Yeah,
I'm on the team?
He was thrilled to
He was
death.
excited. It never happened for
well,
him
he told
before.
him he'd pitch every day of the year. It doesn't matter as long as he stays in the big leagues. And that's running it right there. Persistence has paid off.
Encarnacion with a base hit in the second inning. And the next man up was Alonso, and he clobbered the 2-run homer. And now Edwin flies one to center. Jones makes the catch. We're going to go to the bottom of the ninth. Indians trying to protect a 1-run lead. Cody Allen looking for the save when we return. The game, Yonder Alonso in the second inning drilled his 5th home run of the year to center field, and now with 13 runs batted in, he takes over the team lead in RBI.
Boy, and that's all the offense right there for the most part. 4 hits, 2 runs, and that's going to bring on Cody Allen. And looking for a save in this situation, appearing for the 9th time. Yet to give up a run, 3 for 3 in save opportunities. Opposition hitting just a .167. He's got Davis, Valencia, and Cisco, the scheduled hitters.
Cody Allen worked the scoreless 9th yesterday, retired the side 1-2-3, got Machado, Jones, and Davis. That went from a save situation to a non-save situation because the Indians got the insurance runs. This time, though, he's trying to hold a 1-run lead. Chris Davis 1 for 3. front. Cody Allen throws that spiked curveball. But what makes it so effective is that he has worked so hard that when he throws that pitch, it comes out of his hand the same spot as the fastball would come out. And occasionally that'll happen. The spike went right into the ground.
Yeah, that's a field pitch. Touch and field pitch, no question about it. Yesterday he had both of them working. He had his fastball and he had that spike curve where he had the release point to start it out.
Swung out and missed. Blew it right by him. It's 1-2. You ever mess around, try to throw a curveball like that spike curve?
No.
For the life of me, I don't know how they do it.
I know, it's just a pressure of that finger, and a lot of guys do throw it that way, though. They call it a spike curve. Used to call it a knuckle curve. Don Sutton used to throw his that way. Cliff Lee.
Right.
Remember Cliff used to throw it that way.
Rocket fire, Cody!
That one missed down and in. 2-2.
See how he had that feel of it before he put it into his glove.
He had a good rip at that fastball, but it was up enough that it's out of that.
Yeah, you got to make sure you elevate it to Chris Davis. Anytime you don't want that mid thigh or down, anywhere around the belt. He may take a good swing, but he fouls it off. Gums looked like he was getting up to throw the ball around.
He sure was.
Take a look. There's a fastball. You see, he wasn't sitting right there, but it was a pretty good looking pitch on our pitch track.
Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire, might have missed one there. And the payoff pitch is swung on and missed. Cody came back and took care of it himself. 95-mile-an-hour fastball that Davis couldn't catch up to.
Well, he comes right in here now and throws a low dart, just like he did. But this one was down and away. The one he missed with was inside, didn't get the call, so he says, come on, he's not going to walk him. So he gets the strikeout in the first out of the inning. Nice.
Danny Valencia, 1 for 3 on the night. He went too far. Valencia barking at Jerry Meals, saying, I wanted you to check on that. And Jerry said, no, I thought you went around.
Well, he did. Watch, he calls it as soon as he sees him here. And he says, just get some help. But Meals called it.
You can see why he wanted to get help.
It's too late, close. Yeah, but it's too late. Once that home plate umpire says, no, I saw you.
Swung out and missed, and Cody Allen strikes him out. And Valencia has some words for Jerry Meals as he heads back to the dugout. 2 down.
Well, check it out. You're going to see everything down in the zone, and he finally puts him away with that spiked curve.
And with 2 gone, it's Chance Sisco. 1 for 3 tonight. He drove in the Orioles' only run with a single in the 2nd inning. Curveball misses a little low. Did he go? He did, says John Tumpane. And Buck Showalter just flipped his hand in the air as if to say, you got to be kidding me.
Now look at him. Look, he's shaking his head and talking to himself now.
The 1-2. Took off on him. And strike 3 called. The game is over. Cody Allen strikes out the side here in the 9th to notch his 4th save of the season. And the Indians take 3 out of 4 in Baltimore. 2-1 is the final. Arch, the Indians have now played 9 one-run games. Only the Tampa Bay Rays have played more. They have had 10 one-run games already this year. Tribe's 4-5 in those one-run affairs.
4-5. They get their road record to 500 now. They're 6-6 on the road. This is a nice one to end up. 2-1 ball game. Well pitched on both sides, but they come home. They win the last 3 here in Baltimore and get ready to head home. So it really was a good ball game. You know, you win the close ones, you love it. If you don't, you start looking at little things you can do to get better. But offensively,